Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank this Speaker. This final amendment, Mr. Speaker, which I submit with Mr. Green of Texas, who led this battle in committee, protects...
Correct. The House will please be in order. Members and staff will take their conversations from the floor and please clear the aisles. Gentleman may continue.
I thank the Speaker. This amendment, Mr. Speaker, protects our men and women in uniform who risk their lives to keep us safe in our homes by protecting theirs. It would continue providing emergency mortgage assistance to service members, veterans, and Gold Star families, amending the underlying bill that would otherwise strip away such vital assistance to homeowners in distress through no fault of their own. Whether it is the result of being laid off or a severe medical condition or emergency, Congress has not turned its back on our nation's veterans when they are in need, and now is no time to start. As my colleagues are well aware, the foreclosure crisis has affected millions of American families. Mr. Speaker, we're not in order.
Gentleman is correct. House will be in order. Gentleman may continue.
Sadly, our military families have suffered some of the worst brunt of this impact. Last year, 20,000 active duty reservists and veterans lost their homes, the largest number in recent history. Did you know the foreclosure rate around our nation's military installations is 4 times higher than the national average? From 2000 to 2007 to 2008, the rate of foreclosure...
Mr. Speaker, if the gentleman would suspend, the House is not in order.
Gentleman is correct. Gentleman may continue.
From 2007 to 2008, the rate of foreclosure in towns within 10 miles of a military facility swelled by 217%, compared with 59% in the rest of the country. Right here in our own backyard in my district, the community of Woodbridge, Virginia, the foreclosure rate spiked an astounding 414% around the Quantico Marine Base. Why is that? Because the unemployment rate for our military heroes who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan is 15% higher than the national average. We all know how difficult the transition back to civilian life can be, particularly the disabled as they try to find work. Congress has repeatedly singled out veterans for additional assistance, whether it is workforce training or small business assistance. In fact, the House itself initiated a Wounded Warrior program to place veterans in our member offices. But even with that assistance, the men and women who so bravely fought on behalf of our nation find difficulty succeeding here back home. That's why we had more than 75,600 homeless veterans in 2009. I know a young man in my district who returned home from a tour of duty in Iraq with a severe disability. Thankfully, the modest financial support he currently receives has enabled him barely to remain in his home. But he's only one adverse event away from foreclosure. We are not in order, Mr. Chairman, and our veterans deserve better.
House will be in order.
What if his situation worsens? What if he suffers the loss of employment or develops a catastrophic illness? How am I supposed to tell him or his family, not to mention the thousands of others like him in many of our communities, that we're turning our backs on them? Rather than continue to provide for the needs of our veterans when they need us the most, this legislation patronizes them by calling for yet another study to tell us what we already know, that our military families suffer disproportionately from foreclosures. We don't need a study to tell us the right thing to do. Mr. Speaker, many of my colleagues post pictures outside their offices of lost service members who have made the ultimate sacrifice in a sincere attempt to honor their memory. Those men and women fought and died protecting our homes. How can we now tell them and their families we're not going to fight to protect theirs? Mr. Speaker, I urge my colleagues to support this final amendment and help preserve the American dream for those who are out there protecting that dream for each of us. And with that, I yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Green.
Gentleman's recognized.